good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're watching it live from or the replay. And I want to welcome you to tonight's episode 125. This is David Jill reminding you to step out of what holds you back and step into the life God designed for you. So, um, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube page, please do so. Don't forget to click on the notification bell and also follow me on Facebook and YouTube. Um, let's do this. If you can quickly share the link with at least one person, let that one person share the link with another. And because we're all in this together, let's do this real quick. Let me also share mine. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right. And again, thank you for tuning in into episode 125 of my Step Out, Step In podcast live on YouTube and Facebook. Stay tuned. Every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, join me as we dive headfirst into thrilling stories of personal growth, daring adventures, and transformative experiences. Get ready to be motivated, inspired, and empowered to live your life to the fullest. So mark your calendar, set your alarm, and get ready to step out, step in with Every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, join me as we dive headfirst into thrilling stories of personal growth, daring adventures, and transformative experiences. Get ready to be motivated, inspired, and empowered to live your life to the fullest. So mark your calendar, set your alarm, and get ready to step out, step in with me every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss out on the adventure of a lifetime. Subscribe now and let's step into the unknown together. This is Step Out, Step In. The journey begins here. Step Out, Step In podcast, live on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe today. Thank you for tuning into episode 125 live on YouTube and Facebook. And again, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, please do so. Don't forget to click on the notification bell so that anytime something is posted, you will be notified. All right, so tonight we are diving into a very interesting topic. And it's a topic I've been working on it for quite a while. And I want us to get into this. But just before I get into this, I want to start by asking you a question. And the question is, when was the last time you truly relaxed? When was the last time you truly relaxed? I mean, really let go, not just scrolling through your phone or watching TV, but allowing your mind, your spirit, and your body to be still. Can you recollect the last time you truly, really relaxed? You see, we live in a world that glorifies being busy, where rest feels like a reward instead of a requirement. But what if I told you relaxation isn't just good for your health, but it is also spiritual? And in today's episode, with the title Relax. Uh, that is what we're going to talk about. And I believe that by the end of this episode, probably you will understand why learning to relax is one of the most powerful things you can do for your peace, for your purpose, and for your progress. Watch this space. All right, so once again, thank you for tuning in to episode 125 live on YouTube and Facebook. If you happen to watch the replay, just put in the comment section where you're watching from. We really want to get to know you and connect with you. All right, so let's dive into today's topic, episode 125, relax. And we want to start off by defining what relax means or what relaxation means. And so, what does it mean to relax? And in my definition, I said to relax means to make or become less tense or anxious, to rest or release stress from the mind or body. Let me say that again. To relax means to make or become less tense or anxious, to rest or release stress from a mind or body. You know, it's that deep. It's that deep exhale after a long day. You know, sometimes you go through the day and when you set that deep exhale, I mean, that still moment when your heart rate slows and your soul says, "I'm okay," regardless of all the challenging moments I experience in the course of the day, regardless of all the hard times and all the stress and all that, I say it's okay. You know, from the biblical perspective and as a person of faith, you know, I always want to throw in the scriptures every now and then. And from that biblical perspective, relaxation aligns with rest, and rest is sacred. You know, in the book of Genesis, when God created after the seventh day, let me see if this is going to respond to me today. In Genesis chapter 2 and the verse 2, it says that by the seventh day God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, it's something that resting is part of the journey. It is part of what you and I have been designed and called to do. So even God, the creator of heaven and earth, took time to rest. So if the Almighty paused after creation, why do we feel guilty for resting? Guilty for resting. That is a question. Why do we feel guilty for resting? Relaxation is not laziness, it's alignment for resting. Relaxation is not laziness, it's alignment, ladies and gentlemen. It's acknowledging that the world won't fall apart if you take a break because God is still in control. God is still in control. So let's look at some of the causes of tension. What causes tension? What causes tension? What causes tension? Number one, you can be extremely busy the entire day, but your busyness didn't result in being productive in the course of the day. Sometimes it's just distraction in disguise. You know, one of the things we get so busy at is scrolling through our phones, our social media feeds, our WhatsApp status, and all that. It can get you extremely busy, but can it be very productive? In Ecclesiastes chapter 4, the verse 6, the Bible reminds us that better one handful with tranquility than two handfuls with toil and chasing after the wind. Sometimes that's what we do. We chase after the wind. Takes you nowhere. So you don't have to worry and you don't have to be afraid. Number three is unresolved pressure. Maybe it's deadlines, it's responsibilities, or personal expectations. You know, many people are physically present but mentally exhausted. Pressure without pause leads to burnout. And ladies and gentlemen, burnout is a place you don't want to find yourself. Take a break. Take a break. Number four is lack of boundaries. Lack of boundaries. At a place to go pray. He also had boundaries. So if he had boundaries, if Jesus himself had boundaries, how much more you and I? We are not God's assistants where we can be everywhere at the same time. No, we can't. Lack of boundaries. Sometimes we need those boundaries. Number five is guilt and performance mindset. Guilt and performance mindset. You know, some people feel guilty resting as if it means they're lazy. But rest doesn't mean stopping purpose, it means strengthening your purpose. That is what it means. So the causes are clear, but what happens when you don't relax? What happens when you don't relax? So let's look at some of the effects when you don't relax. What are some of the effects when you don't relax? And signals. And the first is your physical effects. Your physical effects. You go through constant tension that causes headaches, insomnia, high blood pressure, and fatigue. Your body can only run on adrenaline for so long before it crashes. Number two is your mental effects. Number one is physical effects. Number two is mental effects. Lack of relaxation clouds judgment. It heightens irritability. You easily get irritated by the slightest things. Sometimes things that don't even matter just get. That is why the psalmist said in Psalm 46 that be still and know that I am God. It says, be still and know that I am God. Stillness opens your spiritual ears, ladies and gentlemen. And number three is your emotional effect. Is your emotional effects. Number three is emotional effects. You become reactive, not reflective. You start responding out of stress instead of wisdom. Many relationships suffer not because of lack of love, but lack of rest. You realize that when you lack rest, it affects your emotions. Number four is spiritual effects. Number four, it makes it dangerous. The vessel. Friend, when you fail to relax, you rob yourself of recovery. But when you learn to relax, you position yourself for reward. So let's look at some of the benefits. What are some of the benefits? So now we're shifting gears because learning to relax comes with divine reward. And here are a few points or a few keys. And I believe it might be powerful benefits of relaxation. Number one is it renews your strength. It renews your strength. Now we're looking at the benefits. We looked at the effects earlier. Now we're looking at the benefits. It renews your strength. In Isaiah 40 and the verse 31, the Bible says that they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Waiting upon him renews your strength. So when you slow down and rest in God, he replenishes what life drains out of you. Number two is it restores your clarity. It restores your clarity. In stillness, your thought settles and your vision clears. You begin to see from heaven's perspective, not from stress and distortions, not from the distortions you get from stress. Number three is it reconnects you with God. It reconnects you with God. Relaxation opens spiritual sensitivity. You hear God more clearly in quiet, in quiet than in chaos. Jesus spent time alone with the Father, not because he was weak, but because he was wise. And number four, it rekindles joy. It rekindles joy. In Proverbs 17 and 22, it says, a cheerful heart is good medicine. When you relax, ladies and gentlemen, laughter flows. Gratitude rises. You remember what really matters. You don't major on the minor and minor on the major. You remember what really matters. And number five, it rebalances your balance. It teaches you the peace and it teaches you to pace yourself, to know when to pause and when to press forward. And it gives you that peace in that moment. So relaxation isn't escape, it's preparation. You rest not because you are done, but because you're getting ready for what is next. So finally, let's look at how do you do this? What are some of the practical which you can relax? And here are a few keys. Number one is schedule time to pause. I said earlier that we live in a high paced, noisy environment. Everything is on the go. It's just like we're in the microwave generation. When we want things, we want it now. I mean, just think about it. Everything is like go, 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 go. Now, with these gadgets in our hands now, we can't even put them down anymore. It's with us 24/7. I mean, but do you know that machines even sometimes are shut down to cool down and to relax? Don't wait until you're bent out. Schedule time to pause. Create space daily to breathe, to reflect, and reset. Put those gadgets away. You ain't going to die. Disconnect and reconnect. What do I mean by that? It means to step away from screens, practical ways by which we can relax. You know, when worry rises, replace it with worship. I said the other time that you cannot worship and worry at the same time. They are never on the same scale. They are never on the same level. No way. In Philippians 4 and verse 6 and 7, that is where the scriptures tell us that do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. It says by prayer and petition with thanksgiving. That's how peace begins, ladies and gentlemen. Number 4, rest in God's promises. Rest in his promises. You know, remind yourself the promises that God has for you. You can rest because he does it. And he's not expecting you to stay up awake when he's awake watching over you. Psalm 121 tells us that he who watches over Israel neither slumber nor sleep. He's watching over you. There are so many promises from his word. Get into his word. Set the scriptures. Set his promises. Live by his promises. Confess his promises. Go by his promises. And finally, and watch this space. Step Out, Step In podcast. Live on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe today.
Step out, step into the world unknown. Leave your fears behind.
All right, again, thank you for tuning in into episode 125 live on YouTube and Facebook of my Step Out, Step In podcast. And I'm glad you're here with me today. And if you've come this far, I know we are all in this together. Thank you for your time. And just before we wrap up for today, I just want to um, make this announcement real quick. Maximize DMV. Yes. This is a one-day leadership conference for business owners, entrepreneurs, pastors, church leaders, community, local leaders, for everyone. you know, and it's scheduled for Saturday, November 22nd, 2025, and the time is from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Um, let me do this. Let me do this. Thank you, and Raphael, for watching. Let me drop a link in there for registration. Um, Seating is limited, so please, please, please um, rush to register. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So let me drop this link in there, so you can click on the link. It's going to be in Virginia, in Woodbridge, Virginia. The address is on there. Um, it's going to be at the Hilton Garden Hotel, Hilton Garden Inn Hotel in Woodbridge, 2500 Eap School Common Place, Woodbridge, Virginia. And okay, so I just dropped the link in Facebook. Let me drop it here. Um, and the YouTube link. Okay, so please click on the link. If you know anybody around the DMV area, Virginia, Maryland, DC, um, Baltimore, Delaware, please send it out. It's a 1 day conference. I mean, you can't afford to miss this. On November 22nd, the time is 9:30 prompt. Come and be refreshed. Come and be, the world is lacking leadership, transformational and effective leaders. And the heartbeat of Dr. Franco Fosuapia is to raise leaders for this generation and the generation ahead. That you can lead effectively, you can lead transformationally, you can lead in a way that, um, you know, you will not, your generation will not lack and will not be left behind. So share the link with anybody you know, business owners, entrepreneurs, pastors, church leaders, local and community leaders, everyone. And last week, I promised you I was going to share some pictures from uh, the Maximize Sunyane, the one that was attended. Yes. And Virginia, let's get ready. We're blessed to be the next in line. So let's get ready. So these are the pictures. On behalf of Dr. Frank, we say thank you to everyone that attended, the organizers, the sponsors, and everyone that made it and participated and that contributed to make this a success. And I always say that leadership is not a title, it is not a position, it is influence. And everything worthwhile depends on leadership. So, DMV, let's get ready. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. I'm so excited, and I know that things like this never. Yeah, I mean, it stretches you, and you cannot be, should I say, de-stretched. I just made it up. You know, when you're exposed, you can never be unexposed. Come and learn from the leadership architect, the ambassador of hope himself. All right. So again, thank you for tuning in into this episode 125 of my Step Out, Step In podcast. And just before we wrap up, I just want to say this. And I want someone to hear me. And hear me today. That you are not a machine. You are a masterpiece. You are a masterpiece created by God. You are a masterpiece created by God. And even masterpieces need maintenance, ladies and gentlemen. Masterpieces need maintenance. So take this as your divine reminder. All right? Take this as your divine reminder. It's okay to rest. It's okay to breathe. It's okay to relax. When you rest, God works. When you relax, you make room for revelation. Jesus reminds us in Matthew 11 and 28 that come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. So it is okay to rest. It is okay to rest. So this week, I want you to just step out of the chaos and step into His calm. Step into His calm. Time to relax and renew and realign your heart with God. So make a decision this week. Make a decision this week. Make a decision this week to schedule intentional rest. Write it down, protect it, and honor it. You'll be amazed how much stronger, clearer, and more joyful you become when you truly relax in God's presence. And again, thank you for joining me in today's episode, episode 125, Step Out, Step In podcast. If this message spoke to you, ladies and gentlemen, and if it spoke to your heart, share it with someone who needs a reminder to breathe again. Until same time next week, step out of stress and step into His peace. This has been your host, David Joe. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. And have a wonderful, fruitful, and a productive week. Goodbye.
Behind, watch how you've grown. Challenge yourself, break free, and begin to find the purpose within. Step out, step in, out of your comfort zone. Step into the light where your potential shone.